英語聞き流し10分間、名作リスニング、英語テキストと MP3 ダウンロード、その他の物語は、ホームページよりご利用いただけます。88thpp.com 88thpp.com
I wrote about my new glasses and my first ever glasses. My eyesight has grown considerably worse. The glasses I've used for a long time no longer fit to my deteriorated eyesight. I went to get new glasses the other day for the first time in years. During the course of years when I had paid no attention to the glasses market, the stores have become modern and sophisticated, looking like boutiques. Several different chains have their stores inside the shopping mall. They carry cool frames at the low price that people could never dream of years ago. An eyesight test was done inside the store and didn't use an eye chart but some sort of a high-tech machine. The glasses were prepared only in 20 minutes. I had dreaded how much the new pair would cost, but they charged me far less than I had braced for. I had never imagined getting glasses would be this easy. My new pair is nifty and incredibly light. My face looks so different. With my new sharp vision, I feel like I have transformed myself into a new me. I had my first close encounter with glasses when I was in the 2nd grade. I failed an annual eyesight test at school and the school required a further examination at the doctor's office. That sent my mother into a near panic. Back in those days, one of the unbelievably stupid things people said in a rural area was that a girl with glasses couldn't marry and so had no life in the future. My mother said to me, "If you need glasses, it'll be the end of your life." I was headed for the doctor's office trembling with fear with my friend who had also failed the test. After the examination, the receptionist simply let my friend go, and then said to me, "Your glasses will be ready soon. Come get them at the store next to this office." As casually as that, she handed me a death sentence. I couldn't face the fact and told a lie to my mother that my eyes were fine. Since then, I hadn't been able to sleep thinking that the doctor's office would call for my glasses. Every single phone ring made me jump. My coward lies served me a couple of uneasy months, but the call didn't come after all. My glasses were smothered up. When I was 18, I needed glasses to get a driver's license. I came back to the store next to the doctor's office and, finally a decade later, got my first pair there. While I took a load off my mind at last, I failed a driving test this time. Only the glasses were left and I had cherished them up until my new pair.
Audiobook, Japanese Dream by Hidemi Woods on sale at online stores or apps. Apple, Audible, Google Play, Nook Audiobooks, 43 available distributors in total.
It took my partner and I the whole past year to put together a book by selecting stories about my family from Hidemi's rambling, writing some new stories, and re-editing them. When the book was close to go on sale, my partner found out about Amazon Breakthrough Award and was lured onto an entry for it. His excitement about it was caused by a $50,000 advance for the winner. There were several qualifications for the entry. Firstly, it had to be fiction. Secondly, no selection or collection from what had been already published was allowed. Lastly, its author had to be one person. We pondered a lot and came to the reluctant conclusion that we regarded our book as an I-novel, although everything written in there was what really happened. Also, we decided to stop the publication of our existing Hidemi's Rambling ebooks at Kindle. We cleared the 2 qualifications, but the last one was a toughie. Since we had published everything in the name of 88th Planet, that is a unit name, we needed to change the author name to my name, Hidemi Woods. That drew an argument between us over who wrote the stories. They were mixed with what I wrote on my own from the beginning to the end, and what my partner chose interesting experiences of mine, wrote down outlines in Japanese, and then I constructed them to the whole story in English by adding details. Considering his involvement, it wasn't fair to eliminate his name from the author. To make it consistent, we also considered using my name for our music in place of the unit name. We had been talking about it seriously for a few weeks. Ridiculously enough, we even talked about how we would split the prize money of $50,000. I had been moping for the demise of Hidemi's rambling ebooks even though they hardly sold. When we settled on Hidemi Woods for the author name and everything for the entry was prepared at last, my partner found out that there was a length qualification. Our book was simply too short for the entry. We were brought back to our senses and gave up the entry. I regretted our useless deliberations and felt disappointed about losing $50,000 that we wouldn't have won even if we had entered the competition. The funniest thing was our desperate attitude toward a blog that we had started as a break from music in the first place. Our ebooks are on sale as before and the new book has been published as nonfiction, but in the name of Hidemi Woods like a relic of the foolish fuss.
Audiobook, Japanese Dream by Hidemi Woods on sale at online stores or apps. Apple, Audible, Google Play, Nook Audiobooks, 43 available distributors in total.
There's an old Japanese custom called Age of 13 visit. A child who reaches 13 years old by the traditional system of age reckoning visits a specific local shrine to receive wisdom. The important event has one critical rule. The 13-year-old visitor should never look back until they pass through the shrine's gate after the visit. If it happens, wisdom they've just gotten is returned. Every time a topic of the visit was brought up by some chance in my childhood, my mother would strictly instruct me not to look back when my visit came. It had become a repeated threat for me. After those years, I reached 11 years old, which is 13 by the traditional system, and the day for the visit arrived. I was so tensed and nervous because of years of my mother's threat. I got dressed up with kimono and my mother put a wig on my hair to make me look grown up. While I was greedy enough to look forward to getting wisdom, I was anxious about looking back as much. From the moment we left home, my mother kept reminding me not to look back at the shrine. As the pressure had accumulated, a sense of panic had been built inside of me. By the time we prayed at the altar in the shrine and started leaving, I was panicky. On the spot about only several yards to the exit gate, I couldn't stop myself and looked over my shoulder. I blundered away my once-in-a-lifetime visit. My mother made sure I didn't look back when we passed the gate. I lied and said no. On our way home, we dropped by my aunt's house. She noticed that I was wearing a wig. But when she pointed it out, my mother instantly denied it. I didn't understand why she had to lie about such a small thing like a wig, but she just insisted it was my real hair. My aunt slipped beside me when we were about to leave and asked me if it was a wig. Although I said yes indifferently, she triumphantly uttered, "I knew it." She sounded as if she had beaten me and I felt annoyed. I hated my mother's totally unnecessary lie. And as for me, I went through a terrible teenage life with my own trifling lies. I believe that was because I had returned wisdom at the shrine on my age of 13 visit.
Audiobook, Japanese Dream by Hidemi Woods on sale at online stores or apps. Apple, Audible, Google Play, Nook Audiobooks, 43 available distributors in total.
I wrote about my decision and the first plan for it. Last year, I spent fairly much time pondering whether I live in Japan for the rest of my life or settle in US for my music career. I used to live in the States for music and returned to Japan temporarily. This temporary homecoming turned out to become much longer than I had expected and have lasted to this day because of rapid advances in computer technology and the internet. It's now possible to work for the US music market while living in Japan through the internet. Songs and books are easily released and promoted. More new tools and gadgets could be introduced, so that physically staying in US could be unnecessary. Above all, life in this small town of Japan, which is secluded from the city by the mountains, is suitable for creative work. It's so hustle-free that I deeply concentrate on my work. Since I moved in here, my working pace has been good and steady. I feel I have finally found a perfect environment to work on music. On the other hand, I'm always afraid of settling down. Anyone who stops would die. I would lose motivation for writing a song unless I move forward even by a small step. For this year, I decided to visit the States for the first time in years. I know its cost is a prodigious sum of money for me and it requires mountainous troublesome arrangements. I also know too well that after those efforts, What awaits me are an excruciatingly long flight, murderous jet lag, and countless unpleasant incidents. Still, I need to breathe in California air. My anxieties for money, health, and the future never go away, but I think I can manage as long as I stay positive and look ahead. My mind was made up.
Audiobook, Japanese Dream by Hidemi Woods on sale at online stores or apps. Apple, Audible, Google Play, Nook Audiobooks, 43 available distributors in total.
英語聞き流し10分間、名作リスニング。英語テキストと MP3 ダウンロード、その他の物語は、ホームページよりご利用いただけます。88thpp.com 88thpp.com